Hey, you ought to be proud of me. I remember to hit the go live button. Things look a little different behind me because I am sitting in the garage at our daughter and our son-in-law's house in Jackson, Michigan, and that's the roof of the ceiling of the garage you're seeing above me. Just sitting out here having a conversation with Jonathan. Say hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
So there he is. These things I share with you on Wednesday. This is not a well thought out, well prepared sermon. I just want to give you something to give you a little boost, prompt your thinking, maybe give you something to pray for or pray about. With that in mind, I wanted to tell you, those of you who are right there local, our director of missions, Mike Farmer. Well, his mother, who would soon have been 95 years old, she passed away this morning. She's been in declining health now for a good while, but in the last 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, she began this terminal slide. So he and his family are dealing with all of that, and so I'm asking you, please remember them in your prayers. I have a really good friend whose son is he's not been in real good health for a while, and right now it's looking kind of iffy. And so, if you will, pray for them. God knows who they are, and I don't know that they'd want me to share names and all that, so I won't. But I've been reading through the book of James for my daily quiet time. And I'm getting near the end. I finished up chapter 4 today, where James is speaking to these exiled Jewish believers who had run out of Jerusalem, running from persecution that was so intense they couldn't stay. And the thought just left me. Boy, my brain leaks really, really bad. Hang on a second. I thought I would be able to do this without my Bible open, but it's probably not a bad thing to. Don't swear. Yeah, that's what he was talking about. He said, "Don't swear." I immediately thought about Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. Said, don't swear. Don't let your yes be yes, your no be no. You don't need anything else. And then I got to, as I read that, I was thinking about how, back over in chapter 3, James is talking about the tongue. We all know about that. It's a world of iniquity, and as one Christian leader centuries ago said, the most vicious creature on earth has its den just back of the teeth. But then I just kind of did a quick scan in the verses following that discussion about the tongue, and James' references to the tongue continue because he said it talks about boasting about tomorrow and just misusing our tongues. I'll get my thoughts together here in a second. As I thought about it, here's the deal. The people to whom James was writing were living in exile. They were living among unbelieving Jewish people. The larger community were pagans. And James recognized that the most immediate impact they could make on their unbelieving friends and relatives and on the unbelieving larger population, they could make by the way they speak. That their tongue would reveal something about them that made them stand out from the rest of the population. And I thought about us here in the 21st century, of how what was true of them is true for us too. As you know, if you have any age at all, and by that I mean if you're 25 years old, you can remember a time when generalized conversation was at least civil. It's not so anymore. We live in a very vile and profane culture where expressions that used to you didn't hear out in the open air, but you do now. I see it on t-shirts. I see horrible language on bumper stickers and things like that. And it's become so commonplace in television and in movies that if you're going to watch something that doesn't have that kind of profanity in it, then you're probably going to have to watch black and white movies from the 40s because it's so rotten. Never has there been a time in our lifetimes when our speech matters more. It's not just what we say and the vocabulary we use, but it's the manner in which we say it. It's the tone of voice that goes with it. We can choose to blend in with our culture using their expressions, using their terms and their tones, or we can stand apart and instead of using our tongues to curse men, we use our tongues to bless God. We make it known that there's something different about us just by the way we talk. Our words are the expression of our heart and our character. And so, as believers, don't swear at all, James says. Don't swear because we don't need it. We are people of such character, of such integrity, that our yes is more binding than the most ironclad contract. That our no is just as final as any legal prohibition, more so than any legal prohibition, because we are people of our word, and we're people of our word because we're people of the word, and we're people of the word because Jesus is the word. We're followers of him. And what the world is going to know, now listen, hear this. And if this doesn't humble you and reach out and grab a hold of you and kind of shake you a little bit, then I don't know. But the first thing that anyone is ever their first encounter with the resurrected Lord in our lives is going to come by way of our tongues. That gave me pause. You pay me to use my tongue. I'm afraid I may use my tongue way too much, and not always in ways that are honoring to God. Oh, it's not that I get mad and cuss a blue streak. I don't do that. But sometimes my tone, sometimes the facial expression that goes along with the words I've spoken are combined to tell someone that I have no regard for them at all. It's a dangerous place to be, don't you think? I'm not saying these things to you so you walk around on eggshells, afraid to say anything at all. No. It's just that we follow the admonition of Paul in Colossians to let your conversation be seasoned with salt, so that it may give grace to the hearers. Well, let's do that. Let's make that our prayer for one another. I encourage you, I beg you, please, let that be your prayer for me, that the conversation, the words that come out of my mouth, not just behind the pulpit on Sunday morning, but in regular conversation, Kroger conversation with the checkout people at Walmart or wherever it is, that it's seasoned with salt for the express purpose of giving grace to them. So that they may not know why, but they know that there's something different about me. And maybe if we have enough encounters, that they might be prompted to ask what that difference is. What makes you tick? Which gives me an opportunity to say, Jesus Christ is Lord. That's what makes me tick. I follow the risen Lord. That's what makes me tick. I belong to Him. That's what makes me tick. And if enough of us do that, we don't have to be eloquent speakers. We don't have to be, powerful preachers. I think the most powerful preaching most of us could do is to just go through our lives sincerely seeking to bless others with the words that we say in regular conversation. Asking someone, how are you doing? Not as a means of, hey, how you doing? But because we really care. It really matters to us how they're getting along. In this way, we convey the love of God, the compassion of Christ. We give mercy and grant grace to those who hear us. That's my prayer. That's my hope for all of us. And I hope this makes sense some way to you. That we're not so quick to judge, not so quick to pronounce judgment on someone. And I know, there's some people in the world who espouse things they're just terrible. They're no good at all. But rather than just come right out and condemn them in the harshest of language, we have compassion on them, because the truth of the matter is they simply don't know any better. And they never will if all they hear from us is condemnation. Soak in this for a little while. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. You all know my phone number. Give me a call. Better than that, you can come to church on Sunday morning, 10:30. You can ask me whatever questions you want to ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll simply say, I don't know, but let's find out. You can join the group tonight, prayer meeting, 6 o'clock, Fellowship Hall. They'll be glad to have you. I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good rest of the week. God bless you with His very best. Keep you in His peace. I'll see you Sunday morning.